Good morning and welcome to our van. We've officially moved out. Today is our last day with our van. We explained a lot more in our last vlog. But before we leave, we thought we would give you a full van tour. By the way, if you hear roosters in the background, it's because we are in the countryside in Bulgaria, which is our final destination for a European road trip. And we've officially lived in this van for a whole month, and we thought we would give you a full tour and tell you our favorite and least favorite things, just in case you're designing your own van. So first up, we have the kitchen, and this is definitely one of my favorite things, is the layout here. Like we said in Kara and Nate's van, which was quite tight in the kitchen, that was our least favorite thing about that. And this, we have all this floor space, tons of space to cook and work and everything that we need. So we've got two hobs right here, and it's been more than enough for us. By the way, our kettle we keep up here on the clothes rack when we're driving. And then we've got just a little basket for veggies. This is where we have our hand soap and dishwashing soap. This is where I put our toothbrushes. And we've got a sink. Louis will explain more of the water situation and the pump and everything. I would say I would get a different sink for this van. So if you're designing your own, I would say not get a brass sink because it just stains really quickly. And then we have a drying rack here. Of course, our blender to make our smoothies in the morning. Up here we've got our mugs, tea and coffee station. And we have so much storage down here. It's been more than enough for us. We've got a full cutlery drawer, another drawer here for random knickknacks. In here, we have all of our pots and pans and plates and bowls and everything that we might need. And this is a trash can from IKEA. We have this in the bus as well. I would very highly recommend. It's a huge space saver. And then this is our little hack for these not opening and things not falling out while driving, which happened a few times. Just a little hair tie. There you go.
So for those of you that didn't see the video when we bought the van, this was all kitted out when we got it, but we did change the wallpaper. So this wallpaper here was like a completely different pattern. And we put new blinds in. So these are the blinds that we put in, which have been super helpful. Right, continuing in the kitchen. This is under the sink where we have a bunch of different things. We've got our fresh water tank, we've got our wastewater tank, and then right at the back, which I'll show you in a sec, that's the gas can, the propane for the cooker. And I've put together this, since we bought the van, the pump broke and the extra shower pump broke, but we've replaced that. And this now is for our shower, so if the pump's on and I turn this, we can have a hose that goes outside. We've got a little shower head, and that's how we shower. We also keep extra things down here for cleaning, like our dustpan and brush and spray and extra shopping bags. And this is our fridge, our huge, massive fridge. Got a little freezer compartment for basically for frozen fruit and an ice cube tray. It's about as much as we can fit in there. And that stays on all the time, whether we're driving or not. The fridge is running and has been running since we got the van. We also have collected magnets from every country we've been to, apart from Italy. We forgot to get Italy, but we've got all the other ones. I know we haven't got Bosnia.
Yeah, that's Bosnia.
So last two things in the kitchen. This is our little spice rack that pulls out. We have access to all of our spices.
What happened?
I pulled it out too far. Wait, one second.
Louis never opened this once.
And then finally, this is our little shoe drawer. Then we can put all our shoes on to try and keep the floor from getting messy.
One of the best things about the van is the number of plugs that were already in here. So we've got some USBs over there, a lot more in there. We'll show you in a second.
So this is the aircon that pumps in from the front when the engine's running. If we don't want to leave the engine running, we have obviously this little hatch to pop at the top just to let air come in. We also have this top fan, which you can just turn on. And that's sucking all the air out of the van. I think you can also reverse and pump air into the van, but that's nice because it just keeps airflow, sucks all the hot air out. And then we also have a stand-up fan. We can have just keeping the airflow going whilst we're sleeping. And even in the hottest days, it hasn't been too bad in here. It's actually felt pretty cool.
By the way, this was one of the main upgrades we made when we bought the van, because the last van was not so great, and it just makes all the difference. Okay, next, welcome to our dining room, living room, office. This, again, one of the best things about the layout. A lot of other vans with the table, you have to put the table away to be able to make the bed, but we just absolutely love that we can have the bed open the whole time. And like this, we just pull out our table. This is so great for working, eating, playing games, just everything. It just makes all the difference. One person can be working while the other person is still sleeping. Also, our table fell out a couple of times while driving. It was actually a disaster, so this little thing saved our lives. And then the seat that I'm sitting on is actually storage, which again, you need as much storage as possible when living in a van. Tons of space in there. And like I said, so many plugs. So here we've got 2 plugs, here we've got 2 plugs. We have a little secret, something that we have not told you in any of our vlogs. We actually have a toilet in here. To be fair, we haven't used it once, but in here, pull this open.
Slide out toilet.
And we have a toilet. Oh, how does this even work?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm not gonna try to pull. It is great that there's a toilet in here, and there's definitely been times when we needed one, but we both just kind of felt weird about using the toilet like in an open space in the same space where we live and cook and everything. So I think maybe in the future I would build some kind of like a shower curtain system or something to kind of separate the space a little bit. This van actually used to be an ambulance, which you can tell from outside, and these are left over from that, all the storage space. So we use this for our food pantry. And then these are for our clothing. And like I said, more than enough space. We fit so much in here, and it was great.
We have a final bit of storage here where we can put things that we need access to, towels, we have games in here. And then one of my favourite parts of the van is the bed. This is a memory foam mattress. I've slept well in here many nights. Now you might notice it's not quite long enough for me. This bed is 5'5". I am 6'5". So if I was laying out flat, it's just not going to work for me. Now, thankfully, for some of you this might not work. Like if you're tall and you need to lie on your back, you might want to orient the bed this way. But for me, thankfully, I sleep in a bit of a fetal position, so I haven't noticed the length of it at all. So I either sleep like this, or I can straighten out my legs a little bit and spoon Raya. But this has been super comfy, and I think as well, like Raya said, it's nice because we work on slightly different, our body clocks are slightly different, so she might get up early and work, and I can sleep in for a couple of extra hours, or vice versa. I might stay up late and work. She might go to bed early. So.
And if you were to turn the bed this way, obviously you would lose quite a bit of the space. So I think what we've given up is worth it.
Yeah. Also, I like that you can access your clothes and stuff while you're still in bed, so you don't need to get out and open drawers under the bed and all of that, so I can just grab my clothes for the day. There's some other really nice features with the lighting in here. So this button turns on these little stars on the ceiling. So this is one of the control panels for the lights. So we've got these overhead lights the whole way down, and then these are the ceiling lights for the main van. And then these turn on the heater, and I'm not sure what this one does. Some of these are obsolete because this is left over from when it was an ambulance.
And this blue one turns on the magical lights above the bed.
So along with our main power sockets, which we have this international adapter because we have the US plugs, British plugs, and European plugs in the appliances we use. We have access here for our phones, again, more USBs, which will come in super handy. And we have a voltage readout of the main leisure battery. So the battery system, I'm going to go into a bit of detail. There's the main starter battery, which won't get affected if the leisure battery runs out. The leisure battery is for us to charge everything back here, the lights, the fridge, our laptops, and it charges when the engine's running. It also charges from the solar panel we have on the roof. And all of that is controlled in here by our inverter. And so that distributes power to these plugs, and it takes it from 12 volts to 240. Also, There's a little fuse box down here, and that's controlling the fridge, the USB, some of these other lights, everything that's running off 12 volts. And I think it's really handy that you can see in here if any fuses have blown or anything's going wrong. And there's also an app that you can control the inverter on, see how much solar power is pulling in, see if the batteries are running low remotely. Lastly, inside the van, we haven't had to use this. This was Raya's idea, and our friend Hugh helped us adapt this seat so we could actually prop it up here, and then if I did need to lie this way, this would create enough extra length for me to lay flat.
So as you can see from outside, it is very obvious that this used to be an ambulance. You can even still read it from the top and the sides, and we still have the lights left over. Obviously, we can't even use them, and we wouldn't because it's very illegal, but I kind of like it. And to be honest, we asked you in our first video when we told you about the van, what we think of these, do we think we should take them off? Obviously, it doesn't look like Instagram van life beautiful, but I think these reflectors have saved us. We have not gotten pulled over, no tickets, no parking tickets, even though we definitely parked in some spots where we shouldn't have. So I feel like we even said in the beginning, it kind of looks like we're like a work vehicle or something, and yeah, I think that it's definitely saved us.
You can actually push them around all the way to the sides. And then this is our storage area, which amazingly we have actually filled up. We bought an extra water container which we keep full, and it's come in handy a lot of times just for refilling the main water or when our pump broke. Also, we have a leisure box with frisbees and snorkels and masks and badminton and volleyball and a bunch of fun stuff there. We also have a double kayak, inflatable kayak and pump, which we can take out on lakes and again just for fun travel adventures. We have a fold-out table and 2 fold-out camping chairs. Again, really nice. You can sit outside the bus. We've had meals outside. These have come in handy. Also, this is the main area where you get access to the electronics, the main leisure battery, the fuses, the inverter, everything I was showing you from inside. So I can just reach through there if I need to do anything. Just in here, I've got a bunch of things I've been using to diagnose electrical problems, fix things, screwing things. You know, if you're a DIY person,
if you live in a van.
If you live in a van, you know what I'm talking about. So earlier I mentioned we had a little tap for the shower from the main sink pump. So this is what we're currently working with. Again, I think if we design this ourselves and we did another van build out, I'd design the shower differently. I found this shower in a garden centre. When the ground's soft enough, you can stick it in the ground. I think we could also probably have some kind of connector to clip it onto. And then I'm going to shut the doors again and show you our shower curtain. Once you've run the hose to the shower, this is the little shower area. We have this really funny shower curtain. This clips onto these little hooks. And then you can get behind and you can shower.
Don't get too close because then it gets quite see-through. Yeah, if you... That's so creepy.
So we're going to quickly show you the front. I think this could be improved a lot, but when we got it, there was a whole like central panel here. There was a bunch of cables which I've just hidden under this mat.
We don't even know what 90% of those do.
Half of this is from the ambulance electronics, like the sirens and all of that. But we have added our own sound system.
This is the first thing we did.
Massive subwoofer, better radio headset, and I mean, there's not much else in here. This is the control panel for the air conditioning in the back. It has got this little privacy blind that slides down so people can't peer in. I thought it'd be cool to share a few of our highlights of the trip down through Europe in the van. And for me, I think it was parking up in Paris by the Sacré-Cœur, having dinner outside on the street, super romantic. And then also parking up on Lake Annecy, where we just parked up again, had dinner right by the side of the lake. And I think that's one of my favourite things about van life, bus life, is being able to park up in random, beautiful locations and have dinner.
I've said it a lot of times in the vlogs, but a lot of the places where we've stopped to sleep or eat, if we were to pay for a restaurant or a hotel in that area with that view, it would be hundreds of dollars a night, if not more. So to be able to park somewhere for free and get to stay with like beautiful views that change every day, yeah, it just doesn't get better than this. I loved when we parked under the Eiffel Tower. I think that was beautiful, and if you saw that vlog, you know that was a hilarious night's sleep too, so I just feel like that's a story that we'll remember forever. And another thing I love, again, we've said before that in the school bus we can't really talk to each other while we're driving. It's quite loud and we sit very far from each other, so to be able to be sitting in the front and the hours that we've spent listening to podcasts and audiobooks and music and singing and talking, and yeah, it just makes every road trip so much better. So if you are designing your own van, we thought it would be helpful to tell you some of our favorite things about our layout and some things that we might change.
Some of my favorite things, like we've said, is having the bed and the living room area as separate areas. Absolutely amazing. Honestly, it's hard to list all of my favorite things because I think this van's almost perfect in the way that it's laid out. I think the things I would change is having a separate shower toilet area somehow. I don't know where we would put that. Fixing the water system, putting in a better pump, putting a bigger freshwater tank so we can actually shower, and having, yeah, like a toilet, I guess. And also, because we've been driving in really, really hot temperatures, having a better air conditioning system, figuring that out. Maybe we need to get a newer van or get something fixed, but...
And this van's from the UK, which doesn't typically get that hot. It's just we drove it down to like 40 degrees Celsius.
Southern Italy and Bosnia was like 40 degrees, so you might not have this problem if you're going to stay in cooler parts of the world.
Yeah. Honestly, same for me. I love this layout. There's so many things I love. I love all the windows and the light, and it's just so beautiful and modern in here. A couple things that I would change. I think I would change that we could get into the front from the back. I know that's a huge safety concern as well, especially for if you're a woman living in a van by yourself. I know this is usually very important to have access to the front so that you can get out of situations quickly. So I think I would leave some space open. I don't want to lose all the storage space though, so maybe what I would do is put the hob on this side and then lower it a little bit so that you can kind of climb over to get to the front, but still have all that storage space underneath. And maybe if possible, I would get a van with windows that you can open. I don't even know if that's possible, if you can change these windows somehow, but I think that could be really nice too. But honestly, besides those couple of things, we have absolutely loved living in here, and a lot of you know that we also have a school bus in the US, so we are kind of concluding our van life chapter for now. We definitely will have a lot more, and we're heading back to the bus. So if you're not subscribed already, make sure you subscribe because we have an epic adventure driving all the way down to Costa Rica on our school bus in the US.
See you next time.
Bye!
Bye.